Good morning. For those I haven't met before, I will be your primary contact for information regarding this trip. My name is Alicia Karras, and I'm the Administrative Operations Manager with Financial Markets Inc. Thank you for your business qualifying you for the fmiAgent Point Awards trip. You will have received a webinar invite from me, and you'll receive more information in the coming months. If you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to join the Facebook group for the trip, as most of our communication before and during the trip will be done on the group. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you again and meeting those I haven't met yet. With that, I'll turn you over to Neil Sperling to go over this awesome trip.
Well, thank you, Alicia. Appreciate that. And thank you to all the producers here on the call. Thank you so much for your business in qualifying for the fmiAgent Point Awards trip. And so we'll just start with the basics, and then we'll dive into some more detailed information here this morning. The cruise is April 5th through April 10th. We're departing from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. If you've never been before, you may want to spend a little extra time in Fort Lauderdale. It's a beautiful place with tons to do. Our ports are two very popular Caribbean ports, Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic and Nassau in the Bahamas. As we get closer to the cruise date, Alicia Karras and, of course, the Celebrity Cruise Line will provide you with more cruise details, including specific entertainment, boarding times, and available excursions. This may be a refresher for many of you, but we're going to cover some must-know details for preparing for your cruise and embarkation day. Celebrity cruises are similar to Royal Caribbean, which you may have joined us in the past on. There are many standbys that are important to pack for any cruise for most people. Here are some items suggested by the Cruise Critic website. Motion sickness medication and/or patches. These modern cruise ships barely rock in the ocean, but the occasional rough waters are still possible. Last year, our ship rocked a bit on our way back from Bermuda, so if you were fine then you'll likely be fine this year. But better safe than sorry. Magnetic hooks, kind of an interesting one. The walls of your cabin are typically magnetic, so these can be helpful for extra storage. A waterproof phone case. So for those of you who joined us last year in Bermuda, we gave out waterproof phone cases. Hopefully you still have those. And water shoes, a must-have if you plan on doing any of the water excursions that will be offered. A good one here, portable phone charger. You probably want to take a bunch of pictures and also access the Celebrity app. Portable charger will keep you from having to go back to your room to charge up. And of course, basic first aid and or medications, Band-Aids, Neosporin, pain medication, allergy medication, anything you might reach for minor injuries or illnesses. They're helpful to bring along. And you can also find pre-made kits online quite easily, or of course, make one yourself. Reusable water bottles are handy for carrying around the ship. And here's a good tip, sunscreen. Sunscreen is quite expensive on the ship, so it's best to make sure that you pack plenty of your own from home. Celebrity allows you to bring any non-alcoholic beverages aboard that you want. Limitation is that you have to hand carry it aboard. They also allow one bottle of wine per guest age 21 plus, and that should also be in your carry-on should you decide to bring one. A good thing too, a small wallet, a bag or pouch, or as we age, maybe a fanny pack would be good to carry around your CPass, phone, and anything else you typically carry on your person. As a standard rule, cruise ships don't allow you to bring anything with a heating element other than things like hair tools. Illegal substances aren't allowed. Weapons and sports gear don't make the cut either. Interesting one is surge protectors. Surge protectors are a big no. They will confiscate those when you board the ship, but something like a USB splitter or a multi-plug is okay. It just cannot contain a surge protector. Guns, javelins, bows and arrows, and stun guns are also not allowed. So great news. For this year's trip, the classic drink package is included for all financial markets guests. This includes most drinks aboard. including fountain sodas, juice, bottled water, coffee, which includes lattes, cappuccinos, etc., tea, and most alcoholic beverages up to $10 in value. This includes beer, wines, and cocktails. For drinks above $10, you pay just the difference. For example, if you have a $12 cocktail, you'd pay $2. In our research, and I led the research committee on this, most beers and wines are $10 or below, including quite a few cocktails. If you'd like an upgraded option, there is a premium drink package available. The cost will vary depending on when you book it, but on average, it costs around $20 per person per day. It includes upgraded bottled water. I don't know how you upgrade water, but I guess you can get upgraded bottled water, juices, Red Bull, vitamin waters, and drinks up to $17 in value. Almost all drinks are covered by that limit, and the vast majority of specialty drinks are around $9 to $12. Cost-wise, this upgrade is only worth it if you expect to drink 10 plus drinks per day that are over $10, or half dozen Red Bulls a day. More good news. Basic Wi-Fi is also included for one device per financial markets guest room for this trip. Premium Wi-Fi is available for purchase, but the basic should cover you for your general needs unless you want to watch your favorite Netflix movies while aboard. So cool. Two cool things that are included, the Wi-Fi and the drink package for this year's trip. In the months or weeks before the cruise, there are quite a few things to check or pack. Double check that your passport and any other documentation are accessible and set aside, and pack anything specifically for the cruise that you aren't likely to use until the cruise time, so that it's impossible to forget it. As a reminder, Celebrity strongly recommends having a passport for your identification, and it must be valid for at least 6 months after the sailing date. So it needs to be valid at least until October 10th of 2025. We also recommend having pictures on your phone of all your important documentation as a backup if you happen to misplace one of those documents. Also, download the Celebrity app before the trip. That'll allow you to plan any extras like the upgraded drink package or additional Wi-Fi devices, allow you to book excursions, view entertainment and shows as they become available. It also allows you to complete your check-in and complete the safety briefing before boarding. I also found that the Celebrity account is also your Royal Caribbean account, if you have one. They are separate apps, but they use the exact same login. You'll receive an email from Celebrity to complete online check-in in a couple of days before embarkation. Completing this when you get it will speed up your check-in at the port considerably. In the few days before embarkation, make sure your portable charger is full, that you have enough medication for the trip, plus a few extra days in case of delays. Verify your check-in window that will be provided by Celebrity, and make sure you know how you're getting to the port, along with how long it'll take. Fort Lauderdale Airport is only about a 10-minute drive from the cruise port. Getting to the port from Miami takes around an hour. Coming from West Palm Beach takes about an hour also. Or if you want to fly into Orlando and maybe spend a few days prior to the cruise, you can drive to the port from Orlando or take the Brightline passenger train to Fort Lauderdale, which takes around 4 hours. I've heard the Brightline train is a fun experience, but whichever way you choose, there are plenty of options. If you want a special stay before or after the cruise, Lago Mar is one of my favorite resorts in the area. Our first post-COVID FMI Agent Point Awards trip was also held at this resort. They are now requiring a 2-night minimum stay starting this spring, but it's a beautiful resort. There are also a ton of hotels and resorts near the cruise port. Some highly rated ones include Courtyard Fort Lauderdale Beach, the Atlantic, and Sea Beach Plaza. Lots of choices for you for your prior or post stay. We are often asked which hotel our staff is staying at when arriving into the area. This year, financial market staff will be staying at the Holiday Inn Express, Fort Lauderdale Cruise Airport Hotel the night prior to sailing. Rooms cost approximately $325 currently. Our travel people selected this hotel because it has a complimentary airport shuttle and is very close to the cruise port. We don't have a room block, and you're welcome to book wherever you'd like, but we know many of you like to know where we'll be. The link to the hotel's website with their location and details will be in the information packets you'll receive as a handout from this webinar and from Alicia Karras later today. Enjoy some of the best white sand beaches around, get your shopping on at Los Olas Boulevard, or indulge your adventurous side in the nearby Everglades. There are several museums and gardens in the area, including the Museum of Discovery and Science, Flamingo Gardens, and Butterfly World. If you make a trip to the Everglades, you can take an airboat ride and see the alligators. Fort Lauderdale is often called the Venice of the US due to its extensive canal system. So one of the best ways to see the area is by boat. You can take a tour like the Jungle Queen boat, or rent a private boat, or even get a floating tiki bar. Lots to do before or after the cruise if you desire. Celebrity will provide you with a boarding time window. It's best to arrive during this window. In the past, you could arrive earlier and be allowed to board, but currently, boarding time groups are typically put in their own lines and they end up waiting until their time window arrives. You may arrive later than your window, but must be checked in no later than the final all aboard time shown on your Celebrity app. When you arrive to the port, the first thing you'll do is drop your large bags with a porter. You'll have the option to print out luggage tags ahead of time, or you can talk to the porter and they'll fill out tags for you. Make sure you know your room number, as you'll need to provide it to the porter. Also, it's customary to tip the porters $1 or $2 per bag. Make sure you keep your carry-on bag with your essential items and documents with you as you proceed through security. Make absolute certain that you keep your identification, boarding pass, and your boarding pass, which is on the Celebrity app also, or you can bring a printed one, and also have a payment card with you. You may want to put sunscreen, a swimsuit, sunglasses, and anything else you may need in the first few hours aboard in your bag as well. Then you'll be guided through the security and check-in process, which is quite similar to going through airport security, except it's normally much quicker. After check-in, you may be directed right onto the ship or a waiting area until you can board. Your CPass card is your room key, your ID card, and your payment device on the ship. You'll find this in a sealed envelope outside your stateroom. It's a good idea to locate your room and grab your CPass right away once on board. Your room may or may not be ready when you arrive, but using this as your starting point serves multiple purposes. You get away from the crowds, you'll start from your home base, which will make navigating the ship easier the rest of the week, and you'll have your CPass card right away so you can go enjoy a refreshing beverage. We have an awesome itinerary for this trip. Puerto Plata is a well-loved port in the Dominican Republic, and Nassau, Bahamas is the most popular port in the Caribbean. Puerto Plata has a long history worth exploring, along with a beautiful mountainous tropical environment. Nassau has nearly any excursion you can think of, and a newly redesigned port. Join and look through the Facebook group app if you have not yet for more details. Celebrity Summit is an elegant medium-sized ship that was renovated about 5 years ago and looks like it will be a spectacular venue for this trip. It was one of the first resorts at sea to get a recommended rating from Forbes.com. Celebrity is known for elevated food and drink options, along with great service throughout. Again, the fmiAgent Facebook group has a ton of detailed information on everything great about this ship. More to come, but some FYIs for you to keep in mind. We'll have We'll have a standing main dining room group dining each evening at 6 p.m. At least one financial market staff member will be at this dinner each day. You're not required to attend this dinner every day as there are many options available, but we hope to see you there at some point. All good things must come to an end, and FMI agent trips are no exception. Cruise disembarkation is pretty straightforward, but you will have some options. You'll receive specific instructions in your stateroom prior to the last day, but generally, you'll receive a window of time to debark the ship. If you choose to self-assist, you'll be taking all of your own luggage off the ship, and the time window is quite large, usually 6:45 to 9:45 in the morning. If you'd prefer to have your luggage taken off the ship for you, your time frame will be a little narrower, but it does take your travel plans into account. You'll receive numbered tags for your luggage and leave it outside your room before 10 p.m. on the last night. Once you get off the ship, you'll find your luggage in the section matching the number you received. Generally speaking, both options work pretty well. It's up to your preference. Breakfast locations are usually open until the end of debarkation, so it's a great idea to swing through the Windjammer Buffet one last time. Make sure that you give yourself time to account for possible lines for debarkation or transportation to your next destination. While you're making your way off the ship, you may want to take some pictures of Fort Lauderdale. It's really beautiful. And make sure you aren't holding your phone over the side of the ship. On your screen, you'll see a cell phone on the ground. Last year, while disembarking, we were on the 12th deck watching people disembark and looking at Fort Lauderdale. I was with my son and his friend, and I told them to put away their cell phones and enjoy the beauty. No more than a few minutes later, I watched my son's friend's cell phone float in the air until it crashed on the ground. So just an idea, don't hold your cell phone over the railing. It's not recommended, especially from the 12th floor. We hope this webinar gave you some useful information in preparing for your cruise. We will be sending out a detailed brochure with the information we covered here today and more. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the FMI Agent trip. Folks, thank you for your business. Thank you for all you do every day. Have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you on the Celebrity Ship.